First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Bayashit Dabadat, the house of David. I am Ayashatad, with men of valor, Las Vegas camp, coming to you through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, as well as you speckled birds whose father's line goes back, you are the true children of Israel that the Bible speaks of. Salvation belongeth unto you, and you alone. First and foremost, starting with the 144,000 elect men, then the multitude of the men, women, and children who believe upon the testimony. All right? I have a lesson for you today, Lord willing, to be uplifting, edifying unto the body. And I don't have a name yet, but Lord willing, Yahweh Bashem Shai provides one for me. All right? So the title of this lesson is going to be called, Let Thy Shame and Disobedience Be No More. All right? Let thy shame and disobedience be no more your shame. All right? And this is really a lesson geared towards, women, Eve, all right, of the nation of Israel. All right? Lord willing, be edifying unto the body, as well as, on the flip side, through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, me and the Akim go back into this particular lesson and do it for both sides, the women and the men. All right? Something I've been meditating on through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But once again, let it be edifying unto the body. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into these scriptures. All right? And I'm going to start off here in the book. I'm going to go ahead here and start off in the book of Proverbs. And it's going to be chapter 14 of verse 1, and it reads, Every wise woman build her house. All right? Every wise woman builds her house. So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, has just given reverence, all right, to an understanding that if you are a wise woman, or if you seek the wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai within your lot, within your measure, the first measure is building your house, okay? Is building your house. Continuing on. But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands, okay? And matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the blue letter for the wise woman. All right. Once again, it's here in the blue letter. Let's read it again. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, and verse 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Okay? In the interlinear, let's go to the word wise.
Strong's H2454. Chochmoth. Chochmoth. And the form just below that, Chachmoth. Chachmoth.
Right, Chochmoth and Chachmoth. Wisdom. All right, and let's go get the root word etymology.
Strong's H2451. Chochmah. Chochmah.
Chochmah. Chochmah. And it says wisdom, skill. All right, wisdom. Shrewdness, wisdom, prudence. All right. So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai said, wisdom and skill. All right. This is something that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has allowed you women to have the ability to be wise at, is to be a keeper at home, is to do the things that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has designed you to do. All right. And let's go ahead and get this etymology, the root word as well.
Strong's H2449. Chacham. Chacham.
Chacham. Chacham. All right. And it says primary root word, to be wise, to be or become wise, act wisely, to make wise, teach wisdom, instruct. Instruct. All right. to teach wisdom. The wisdom that you have is to teach other women how to be good wives. The wisdom that you have is to upbring and build up the children in the way that they should go, because you are the first teachers, as Yahweh Shem Yahushai has permitted you to be. And matter of fact, the scriptures support it. All right, let's go ahead and get that. All right, this is going to be here in the book of Titus, chapter 2, and let's start at verse 1, and it reads, "But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine." All right, and this is sound doctrine that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has given us. All right, 100% truth comes out of GMS. Okay, so this sound doctrine, the wisdom and the knowledge that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has provided unto us, all right, is that, that the whole nation, through the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, receive this doctrine. All right, we understand that, not everybody's going to accept it, but it still has to be called out. Continuing on, verse 2, and it reads, "That the aged men be sober, grave, tempered, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. The aged woman likewise, and they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things." All right, so the teachers of good things. All right, here's the point in 4 and 5, that they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. All right, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai be not blasphemed. All right, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has given clear direction, all right, how things are supposed to go, the order that it's supposed to take. Okay, so how then do you need to be? All right, you need to be that keeper at home. You are the first teacher. All right, and matter of fact, let's go ahead and get more proof. All right, here it is. This is the book of Sirach, otherwise known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3 and verse 2. "For Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hath given the father honor over the children, and hath confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons." All right, so here it is. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is telling you plainly and clearly, you are a authority figure in the household, all right, under your husband. Okay, so it is your duty, all right, to obey Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's commandment. All right, these are the things that will help take away the shame. Okay, but I just wanted to point this out and make this a point in the lesson. All right, so let me go ahead and go. Proverbs 14 and 1, "Every wise woman buildeth her house, but a foolish plucketh it down by her own hands." All right, so the first step, to building your house, is understanding that there is a hierarchy. All right, there is an authoritative hierarchy that goes into the house. All right, before you have children, it's you and your husband. All right, and your husband is your head. All right, and let me go ahead and get this here. All right, and this reads, "The Bible is real. Just don't let a liar teach you." Teach it to you. All right, and you've been taught a lie your whole life. All right, you've been taught a lie that the woman is made for the man, and the man's not made, or the man is made for the woman. All right, but the woman is made for the man. All right, so the lie that you've been told is that you're the prize. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushai says otherwise through scriptures. All right, so you've been taught this lie, through the Willie Lynch theory, through modern day pulpit Christianity, all right, prosperity doctrine, all right, all these things have led you astray, and therefore has brought shame upon you and destroyed and decimated the household. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get some scriptures, and got a couple of videos. Let's go ahead and read this disclaimer first. This is going to be copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringed. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. So these might show one or two videos. All right. But here it is.
My husband is my boss, and this is how I show him respect. A lot of people don't understand, so I'll give you some examples. For example, if your boss walks into the room, the first thing you do is greet them. You smile, you don't ignore them, you're happy to see them, you ask them about their day. Same thing, when your husband walks in, greet him with a smile, with happiness. Don't tell him all the problems that are happening in the house. You wouldn't do that with your boss. Give him the best of you. Number two, if your boss corrects you, let's say you made a mistake, you sit down, you listen very carefully, you pull out a notepad and you take notes. Same thing, if your husband corrects you, don't be like, oh, it's not my fault, worrying about this and that. Listen to him, understand what the issue is, and do better. And last but not least, if your boss came to you and said, hey, I need you to do this thing for me tomorrow. I need it on my desk first thing in the morning. Guess what? Because he has a need, you prioritize that need over everything else. You might even stay late to work on what he needs you to do. Tell everyone, no, I can't hang out with you guys. Same thing. If your husband comes home and he says, hey, I need some intimacy. I don't care if the kitchen is full, the kids are screaming, what's going on. Figure out a way to clear your schedule and prioritize your husband's needs. Treat him like your boss because your husband is your boss. And make sure you pick a good husband.
This is going to be here in the book of 1 Corinthians, and it's going to be chapter 11, and starting at verse 8, and it reads, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. All right, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has told us in the scriptures that the purpose of women was that she was to be a helpmeet unto the man. All right, and we can find this in Genesis as well. Let's go ahead and get that. All right, it's going to be here in the book of Genesis. I'm going to start here in chapter 2 in verse 18, and it reads, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said it not said, it is not good for man, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. All right. So Yahweh, pointed out that Yahweh Shai pointed out that that he would make a helpmeet. All right, for Adam. And who is that? Let's jump over to verse 21, and it reads, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had taken from man made a woman and brought her unto man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. All right. So, there's a deeper parable in that, but this video is not for that. Okay. But this goes to prove that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has made the woman for the man. All right. And not the other way around. Okay. Now, Lord willing, we do a video on that, getting deeper into that right there. But for the purpose of this video, the woman was made for the man. All right? Not the other way around. As we go back here to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8, and it reads, "For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man." All right? So it is you who were created to be a helpmeet unto the man. All right? So when Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is given these instructions and given these directions, he has placed that man over you. And he's placed the man over you for the purpose of his will. All right? As it goes to say here in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 22. And it reads, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord." All right. And let's look up that word submit. All right. We got it right here in the blue letter. Let's read it one more time. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 22. And it reads, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord." Okay. And let's see, submit yourselves. All right.
Strong's G 5293. Hupatasso. Hupatasso.
Hupatasso. Hupatasso. All right. And let's go ahead and get that. It says to arrange under, to subordinate, to subject, put in subjection, to subject oneself, obey, to submit to one's control, to yield one's admonishment or advice, to obey, to subject. All right. This is submission. All right. And let's go ahead and get the root words, all right, that are up here. Root word etymology from the beginning of what it is, the root.
Strong's G 5259. Hupa. Hupa.
Hupa. Hupa. By under. All right. By under. Okay. To be under submission unto your husband, unto your Lord. It said submit yourself. All right. Let's go back because there's two root words. All right.
Strong's G 5021. Tasso. Tasso.
Tasso. Tasso. And it says to put in order, to put in order, to station, to place in a certain order, to arrange, to assign a place, to appoint, to assign, to appoint a thing, to one, to appoint, to order. All right, here it is. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is saying to put you in order, to appoint you in a position under the man. All right, under your Lord. First you're in your father's house, then you go from your father's house to your husband's house. All right, you're up under your father's order, then your husband's order. All right, to appoint on one's own responsible or authority, to appoint mutually, i.e. agree upon. All right. So when your father, in the ancient world, your father would give you to a man. All right. When he gave you to that man, you were now up under that man's authority. Why? It was agreed upon that your daughter is now mine and she is in my household and she will live by the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai because we are Israelites. These are our customs. Okay? All these other religions, as you've seen the woman on the video, I believe she's a Muslim or whatever she is. All right? The wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, stands. Okay? These religions have taken our customs, but nevertheless, you can find these customs in our heritage book, in the Bible, all right, which belongs to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, as well as you speckled birds whose father's line goes back, all right? It is these things that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has given us, all right? All right? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has given us examples throughout our heritage book, throughout the scriptures. All right, some accounts, as you see here, Jacob, Leah, and Rachel. All right, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, and Rebekah. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has continued to give us sound doctrine. All right, as you see in this depiction up here, you have Leah's servants. All right, Leah's handmaidens. Okay, these are the women who wait on Leah. These are her friends, okay, that are heathen nations, okay? But nevertheless, they would serve the Israelite woman, okay? As you've seen right here in the depiction, you see Leah's servants, okay? Leah's servant, Zelphat, all right? Rebecca, all right? Rebecca had a servant as well, okay? And Salakia, I can't, Beliah, Salakia, if I mispronounced that, all right? But you see how Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has this heritage to be moved forward, all right? Because one woman couldn't have the amount of children that is needed, all right? That is needed to build a nation. That's why Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has women outnumbering men, all right? Because it is lawful, all right? And it is lawful that you obey your husband, because what does it say? Let's go here to the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 6, and it reads, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, all right? Lord, calling him Lord. Did not Yahweh Bashem Yahushai say, in the book of Ephesians, let's go back there right quick, okay? This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves, all right? Obey your husband, submit yourselves, obey in order, all right, unto your own husband as unto the Lord, all right? So being the head of you, being your Lord, all right, because it goes to say here in the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 6, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughter we are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. All right, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, it gives you a way to walk, ye daughters of Israel. All right, you have a particular way that you are to walk and particular things that you are to follow. Okay, here it is. This world has taught you vain ideologies and false customs, all right, for their purpose and their reason. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get another video. Once again, this is a copyright disclaimer, all right? Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. And research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringed. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right?
Statistically, there's more women on earth than there are men. And if every single man married only one lady, there would still be millions of single women on this planet. And this is how the government doesn't want you to have more than one wife. You know why? Because if men had more than one wife, they wouldn't be busy with female drama. They would be running at their full capacity as leaders. And guess what? Most governments are being run by dysfunctional leaders, people that aren't good leaders. And if the population, the general population, had many good leaders to offer a country, it would be competition to the government. So the government prefers monogamy. It prefers that you not function at your full capacity, not be the best man you can be. They promote men marrying men. They promote women marrying women. They promote men turning into women and women turning into men. But for some reason, when a man wants more than one wife, all of a sudden they draw the line. Why?
All right. And I'm going to read this. This is here. As you see it in this, it says, why would the Most High give us commandments, then sent his son to do away with it? All right. Why would Yahweh Bashem Yahushai do that? All right. He has given us strict laws and commandments. All right. And being fruitful and multiply, is what? Is a commandment. All right. And therefore you need what? You need to have the abundance to be able to multiply. All right. The woman, all right, is the soil and the man is the seed. Okay. And matter of fact, let's go ahead and get this script right here. This is the book of Deuteronomy, and it's going to be chapter 23 and verse 17. And it reads, there shall no whores of Slakia, there shall be no whores of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. All right, but here it is. These places have promoted these certain things that are okay. All right, even though DJ Trump is doing away with these laws, all right, that were set forth, nevertheless, it was permitted. Okay, and it has been okay. All right, now that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is getting closer, all right, they're trying to correct these things only because their numbers are down. All right, let's read this quote. This book will either keep you from sin or sin will keep you from this book. All right, so it is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai who is providing a sound doctrine, wisdom, and knowledge through the men who are out on the highways and byways. All right, giving you this doctrine for a correction. All right, to repent and to come back unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's ways. Okay, there's a lot more that goes into a family, goes into the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai than what you women think. All right, it is for you. All you see is the physical aspect of clapping cheeks. All right, getting it in. All right, but you don't understand what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has permitted it for. Okay, as the woman who practices a wayward doctrine, all right, she still has more wisdom and more knowledge than most of you Israelite women out there. All right, understanding the benefits that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai did this for. Okay, the benefits of the nation. All right, first and foremost for His glory and His praise. Okay, this is going to be here in the book of Sirach, and it's going to be 26 in chapter 26 and verse 14, and it reads, a silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. All right, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushai demands that you be in what? Submission. Be ready to receive the order of your husband. As you received, some of you out there should have received, let's say you should have received the order from your father or the man who was placed above you. All right. But nevertheless, the man that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has appointed above you is the man that you are with. Okay. You are to take heed into what he tells you. Okay. These are the things that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has commanded you to do in your lot. All right. Being a woman. All right. Let's go here. All right. It's going to be Sirach 25 and verse 23 at the break, and it reads, a woman that will not comfort her husband is husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. All right. Maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Okay. So when you don't obey your husband, when you're not in submission unto your husband, all right, therefore you put a harder time not only on him but your household. You're not building a household properly because you're not following the directions and the orders that are giving unto you. All right, a mind well instructed is what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai causes you to have. All right, this is the portion of your lot. Okay, to rule over the children, but for your husband to rule over you, for your father to rule over you, as Hamashiach rules over us, and as Yahweh rules over Yahushai Hamashiach. All right, this is the cause. Okay, verse 24, and it reads, of the woman cometh the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. All right. So this is why you are supposed to be instructed, because when Eve was instructed in the wilderness, Salakia, when she was instructed not to eat of that fruit, all right, eat of that thing that she was not supposed to partake of, all right, that knowledge, all right, that false knowledge, it led us to this point. Okay, yes, Adam followed her, but this is the correction. This is the correction that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has set forth. All right, we were never meant to be equals, but we were meant to be have duality. All right, for man that there's woman. All right, for the hierarchy, there's someone on top, and then there's someone on bottom. Okay, for hot there's cold. All right, there's the head. And then there's the feet, okay? The head works with the feet, all to get the whole body to move and to get where it needs to go, okay? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gives these parables so that you can have the word broken down to you and have understanding provided unto you through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay? I'm going to go here to the book of 2 Corinthians. All right. This is going to be 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 14. And it reads, but their minds were blinded, for until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament. Right. Your mind is blinded essentially from us going off. All right. From Eve going off in the garden, from Adam following, and leads us up to this point today through the atrocities that we have committed unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, woman, and child, all right, of the nation of Israel. Okay, that veil that is not lifted to 2/3 of the nation of Israel is because they will not obtain and will not seek the knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. They have cause to their cause is to follow, all right, after the way of the world and not the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, the cause and the effect. The effect is that our whole nation is messed up because they do not want to come back unto the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, as this depiction says, either this book will This book will either keep you from sin or sin will keep you from the book. All right. You will be a woman who believes that you can ride the cock carousel and think that you don't have to be accountable for it. All right. Think that you can do these abominable things. But Yahweh Hashem Yahushai says otherwise. But ultimately it's because you're blinded and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is denying you. All right. He's denying you. If you have any type of knowledge, all right, and you got a job and you don't have to use your body for survival because you just don't have it in the head at all. All right. Hey, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to judge you. All right. Is going to judge you drastically because you know better. You have the ability to know better. Okay. The apostles, starting with our head apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, Apostle Rama, the elders and the bishops, all the way down to the newest brother teaching 100% doctrine, is giving you sound doctrine that you may receive the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you Israelite women, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, as well as you speckled birds. All right? You have an accountability. Verse 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 15, and it reads, but even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their hearts. All right, the veil, your mind is still clouded. It is upon your heart because you're listening after the way of the world. Just like that woman said in the video, even though she follows a wayward doctrine, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has put that lot on her. Whether she be a heathen or whether she be a speckled bird of the nation of Israel, nevertheless, she has more wisdom than you Israelite women. Okay? 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to when it shall turn to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the veil shall be taken away. And the veil is being taken away. How? All right, by the prophets being on the scene, giving you sound doctrine. All right, calling on the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, breaking these scriptures down so that you may obtain grace and mercy through Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that you may come and submit yourself unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai by following after his ways. Okay, we are all in an uncomfortable situation. Part of your hell is to have an uncomfortable situation, believing that that your husband can't have multiple women. That is a part of your delusion in your hell that this devil has made you think. All right, and I'm not telling you to do after the world's polygamy. All right. Where your husband and you and the other woman, get it on. All right. I'm telling you to follow the scriptures through the will and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. What you and your husband have is what you and your husband have. Him and his other woman have is what they have. All right. That is order. Okay. You're not all supposed to be in the same room doing the same thing at the same time. That's an abomination unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that's not what it was meant for. Okay. For you degenerates out there, all right, coaching these women in the wrong way, all right, and you're gonna have to answer for that, you two turd ass nigglets, all right. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 10, and it reads, "But the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai." All right. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has provided us with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right. First, the apostles. Salakia. All right. Salakia. I was getting a text. All right. So here it is. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has provided us a sound doctrine to these things. Sound doctrine so that you may understand that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has a way, has a way that he wants things done, that he has a as much order in men as he does require in women. All right, that the order of it all matters to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This is going to be here in the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 2, and it reads, "A virtuous woman rejoices her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace." All right, so you are supposed to bring peace. You're supposed to be comfort unto that man. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said, "He who giveth the wife getteth a possession." All right, a peace, a pillar of rest. All right, this is here in the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 24, and it reads, "He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest." All right, so you are supposed to be a rest unto that man, not only physically but mentally. All right. All right, let's get this one. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. "Envy thou not thy oppressor, and choose none of his ways." All right, choose none of his ways. Envying go after the oppressor, with monogamy. All right, thinking that you could be the only one and that you should be the only one leads you to be in a bad case. All right, more wives means more income, means more time, means more children, means more of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai being praised and honored and glorified first and foremost, but provides a simple rest unto you. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get another video.
I had a client. She used to come and complain to me all the time that I have no time for myself. These were her words. "I'm with my husband, I'm with my kids, I'm at work, family. I have not a minute to myself." So I went and I found her husband a second wife. And she was so happy that I did this for her. She was so thankful. She was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that this is what I needed in my life." Now she has time for herself. She's more relaxed. She's less stressed. And when her husband is with her and it's her turn, her husband loves her. He's like, she's a changed woman. Ladies, don't let society program your brain into thinking you have to do it all. There's only one household that's truly happy. It's the one where the man is in charge and the wife respects her husband's leadership.
All right, go back here to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 22, and it reads, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord." All right, as unto the Lord, as unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, your man is your Lord. He is the head. Continuing on, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. All right, so it is Yahweh Shai, man and woman. All right, it is that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai likes to see. It is the order that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has set forth. All right, to be what? To be glorious. All right, for it to be looked upon and marveled. All right, it tells you here. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that in the book of Sirach. So Sirach chapter 25 and 1, and it reads, in three things I was beautified, and stood up beautifully, both before the power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and men. The utter the unity of brethren and the love of neighbors. A man and a wife that agree together. All right, a man and a wife that agree together. All right, so here it is. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said, a man and a wife that agree together. All right, agree. They're on one accord. All right, that the wife is following the husband's lead. Okay, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai loves that. All right, the duty of man is to what? Is to live by every word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, roughly paraphrasing scripture. All right, the duty for the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian, as well as the speckled birds whose father's line goes back First and foremost, the men is to live after every word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and then the woman following the man's lead to live after every word that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has commanded her to do under the man. Okay? This is what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is saying. Okay? Here it is. I'm going to go here to the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7, and it reads, likewise, matter of fact, let's read it from 6. This will be 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 6, and it reads, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. All right, give honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life. All right, so we are heirs together in the grace of life, but there's an order to receive that grace. The order is that the man is under the woman. All right, for your prayers be not hindered. All right, so if you want more in life, you have to submit yourself. You have to submit as a woman to your husband. If you don't have a husband, all right, if you don't have a man in your life, you have to submit yourself to your father. If your father is not in your life, then you have to submit and humble yourself and pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to guide you and lead you in the right way until he provides another head for you. Okay? Because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai wants you to be a wife, all right, so that you may receive what? As it says, let's listen again. What does it say? 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, give honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and be heirs together of the grace of life. All right, of the grace of life, so you can have the things that are permitted for you to have stability of mind, to have a full household, to have everything that you truly desire. Children, all right, for you to have someone to call on, for you to have someone to help you, for you to have a sisterhood. All right, you deal with your friends now. All right, you deal with your friends and you'll play the other woman. All right, and then you'll ask that man to leave that woman when you can just, do it together and be in righteousness. But instead, you want to ride the cock carousel. All right, this is going to be here in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 11. Salakia, in verse 11, and it reads, nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman. Neither is the man without the woman. Neither is the woman without the man in Yahweh. All right, so that duality is needed. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said in Sirach 25 and 1. All right, those that agree together, the man and the woman, all right, is what he likes, that agree and walk together after the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Verse 12, for as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of the power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, so he has made the duality. All right, the man carries the seed and plants the seed in the soil. The woman is the soil. She brings forth that seed, bringing forth that child, therefore, and extending the lineage and the heritage of that man, ultimately being Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, being the nation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is yet furthering his name and glorifying and magnifying his name as Israelite men and as Israelite women. All right. The process that and the order that is set up is for the example to be. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, demands these things. This is your order. This is the lot that you were given. Understand there is a glory in it. Okay? There is a glory unto you by being a woman of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? You are therefore above all women. Okay? Starting with the head tribe of Judah all the way down to the tribe of Issachar. All 12 tribes. Okay? The women are the best women on the planet. All right? In the universe. All right? That's what you were meant to be. But in your current state, men, women of the nation of Israel are in the low case. Why? Because we're not following the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. You're following after the way of the world and hindering the way of the word. Okay? Let's go here to the book of Ephesians. All right? It's going to be here in the book of Ephesians, and it's going to be chapter 5 and verse 28. We start at verse 28, and it reads, "So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies." Right. So you're supposed to love your wife as your own body. All right. Continue to keep her up and do the things that are pleasing as you would please yourself in your own body. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. Right. To love your wife, to love your wives is to love yourself. Okay. For the man, it's like it, for no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but but nourisheth the nourish and cherish it even as, but nourish it and cherish it even as the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai the church, for we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. All right. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is there giving us a commandment. All right. As we love ourselves, as we love the church in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, so are we to love our wives. Understanding that this is a parable, all right, a deep, dark mystery, all right, but yet Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has given us the duality of it. Okay. Continuing on, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall join unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. All right. So, that act of consummating the marriage, all right, when you drop seed in that woman, when you break that hymen, all right, the act of sex is consummation of the marriage. Therefore, two flesh becoming one. All right. That's why a woman's womb takes on that man's takes on the man's testosterone, takes on everything. That's why all this information is coming out. How women keep the DNA of other men. All right, when she's ride that carousel. All right, all those men's spirit are on her. All right, that's why it's permitted for you only to be with one man. All right, through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, the less bodies you have, the more value you have. All right, the better your stock is, the more the value of the stock goes up, the better children you have. Okay, why? Because they're not all deranged and polluted with all these different spirits. All right. Verse 32, and it reads, "This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Hamashiach and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverences her husband." All right, so you are to reverence your husband. You are to do that thing which is pleasing unto him. You are supposed to be a reflection of your husband. Okay, So you have to do the things that are pleasing unto your husband, but first and foremost, pleasing your husband. If he's a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you are pleasing Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And the way that you have the ability to truly please him is follow the orders of your husband. All right? These things of this world that are hindering you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian women, as well as the speckled bird whose father's line goes back, are things of this world, you believing on the philosophies of this world. You have to also let go of your philosophy, your feelings of the world. All right? Because the world, is here to put you in a poor case. All right? As most of you Israelite women are. All right? I got two more scripts. All right? And then I'll go ahead and close out. This is going to be here in the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 23. Matter of fact, 22, and it reads, "A harlot shall be accounted accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death and death to her husband." All right. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushua said, harlot shall be counted as spittle. Okay. Hey, you're no better than the spit flying out the mouth when somebody is talking. I got a couple more. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. All right? You'll be counted as a dog if you are shameless. If you have not the respect unto your husband, if you have not respect unto the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? Verse 24, a dishonest woman contempteth shame, but a honest woman will reveal her husband. All right, reverence her husband. All right, you will show him the reverence and the proper respect, even if you don't have a husband. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is your head, so you should show him the respect by being chaste. All right, having some discipline in yourself, getting off the carousel and not going back. All right. When one man chooses you, when you accept that man's offer, that you stay with that man to the best of your ability, that you have and you pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for that man to guide you and lead you in the right way. Okay, here it is. It's the last script. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 26 in verse 6, and it reads, "But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue with a scourge with the tongue which communicateth with all." All right. So having a jealous attitude towards another woman for wanting to have your man and love your man, he was meant to have more than one woman. You should embrace that woman and see if you all can get along. See if it be the right way. All right. Hey, for another video. All right. And Salakia, right here, this is going to be back in the book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 1. And it reads, every wise woman build her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. All right, so don't be that foolish woman. Don't be that foolish wife that plucketh it down with her hands. Okay, as the woman said in the video, you can share. All right, here it is. One more. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. All right. So, hey, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has given you the opportunity to be that pillar of rest for that man. You are to fatten his bones to bring him delight. You are to have him be a pleasure unto you as well. Okay? And he is a pleasure unto you, being a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, following after the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? So that we may enjoy, all right, a life as it's supposed to be, being having the grace that life permits through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Lord willing, this was edifying, uplifting. I want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. To the next time, Shalom, Wa Abal Babal. Shalom. Kwame Yasharal.